What's up EFD and welcome back to Scout Report. Having led Newcastle to an impressive 11th place finish in 21-22, with only 5 other Premier League clubs accruing more than the Magpies 44 points in his 27 games in charge, Eddie Howe's next challenge is to establish his side in the top half of the league, qualify for Europe and perhaps even threaten the top 6. Just as West Ham have managed to do in recent campaigns. To do that though, there will need to be significant business this summer, and while Howe was able to extract big performances from his side last season, there are still areas in big need of an upgrade. Today we're bringing you 3 realistic signings the club should make if they want to continue their rise. Just a heads up, we've already spoken about Lucas Paqueta and Hugo Ekitike on 10 transfers that make perfect sense. Go and check that out after this, so we've decided to mix things up for this one. Let's go. Otavio. While signing Paqueta and Ekitike would add extra potency to Newcastle's attack, there is still more work needed on the forward line, and in particular on the right hand side, where Ryan Fraser and Miguel Almiron have been sharing minutes, with neither proving particularly effective. But there are surprisingly few top quality right wingers on the market. Bayer Leverkusen star Moussa Diaby has been linked, but the French youngster has ambitions of playing Champions League football every season. Sassuolo talisman Domenico Berardi looks likely to stay in Italy if he leaves the club, and Antony, despite being an immense talent, is more of a goal scorer than a creator. If Eddie Howe wants someone who can have a quick impact and provide the kind of creativity his side currently lacks, then he could do a lot worse than targeting FC Porto's Otavio. At 27, the Portugal international isn't exactly a youngster, but after 8 seasons in the Primeira Liga has certainly earned the right to move to a bigger league. And having played over 11,000 minutes of football over the previous 3 seasons and with Champions League experience too, he possesses the kind of pedigree that Eddie Howe's attack needs. Unlike Saint-Maximin, who was the side's top creator last term but is naturally more of a goal scorer, Otavio would offer more delivery from the right, averaging 2.5 key passes per 90 and taking on just 1.7 shots. He's also registered at least 8 assists in each of the last 3 campaigns, a figure reached by a Newcastle player in the Premier League just once in the last decade. His creative nous would help elevate the goal tallies of Saint-Maximin, Callum Wilson and Chris Wood. He plays in a ball-dominant Porto side which averages 63% possession to Newcastle's 42%, and so probably won't get as many chances to take on defenders and zip balls across the box at St James's Park as he does at the Dragao. But given the side's progression under Howe so far, we'd expect to see the Magpies dominate more games next term. Having someone who is used to seeing a lot of the ball will be useful in an attack which previously relied heavily on hitting teams on the break. Another area in which they've improved has been pressing, with their passes per defensive action, the metric used to measure how intensely a side closes the opposition down in their half, going from 18 under Steve Bruce in 2021, by far the worst average in the division, to 13.2 under Howe, better than Aston Villa and West Ham. Otavio suits this more proactive approach to defending, ranking in the top 1% of wingers in European competition last term by averaging a massive 29 pressures and 3 tackles per 90. He isn't much of a ball carrier, but that can be left to Saint-Maximin. He can instead put the Magpies on the front foot by winning the ball in advantageous positions and can be picked out by the excellent passing of Bruno Guimaraes. Previously linked with Liverpool, Otavio wouldn't be a game-changing signing on the level of his former teammate Luis Diaz, while his €60 million release clause is steep to say the least. But as right-sided attackers go, he's one of the best on the market. Newcastle may need to overspend to fix one of their problem positions. David Raum. Matt Targett recently put pen to paper on a 4-year deal at St James's Park, following an agreement to make his loan move from Aston Villa permanent for £15 million. And he has been very solid since arriving on Tyneside in January. But if they want to seriously challenge for a place in the top 6 next term, another option at left back would be wise. Before Targett's confirmation, Renan Lodi was being linked with a move to the Magpies, but while he has impressed in limited minutes at Atletico Madrid, in particular against English sides in the Champions League, his attacking numbers aren't actually that strong. If Howe wants someone who can offer something different from Targett, then Hoffenheim's David Raum is the ideal choice. Following a superb first season in the Bundesliga, in which he also consolidated himself as a starter for Hansi Flick in the German national team, Raum has already been linked with multiple clubs this summer, and from the surface level numbers it's not hard to see why. The 24-year-old registered 3 goals and 11 assists in the Bundesliga last term, equaling the same number of goal involvements he managed for Greuther Fürth in the second tier the previous campaign, quickly placing him among Europe's most productive wide men. A versatile player, Raum has been utilised as a wing-back by manager Sebastian Hoeneß, and the results have been staggering. By the end of the 21-22 campaign, Raum ranked 7th in Europe's top 5 leagues for expected assists, with Trent Alexander-Arnold the only fullback to generate more. What's more, every player to rank ahead of him in this metric plays for a side that finished in the top 4 of their league, while Hoffenheim finished 9th. With no player in any position on the continent matching his 1.8 completed crosses into the box per 90, Raum's delivery alone would make Eddie Howe's side a much more serious proposition going forward, with Kieran Trippier providing something similar on the right and from set pieces. And to go with that, he is an excellent passer in build-up too, something that could help the Magpies evolve into a more possession-oriented side. His 5 progressive passes per 90 ranks him in the top 14% of fullbacks in Europe, and is a big improvement on Target's average of 3.3, which was good enough for second in the Magpies squad last term behind Trippier. Howe relies on his fullbacks to feed the ball forwards, and Raum can easily fulfill that remit. What's more, with Saint-Maximin often cutting inside and Target rarely going to the byline, a more dynamic left-back like Raum would give the Newcastle attack extra width in the final third. And with his ability to play as a wing-back too, he also offers Howe more tactical flexibility should he want to switch to a back 3 in certain situations. Valued between 20 and 30 million euros by the Football Observatory, despite having 4 years left on his contract, the Nuremberg-born international represents good value, and if bigger clubs are wary of his lack of top-flight experience, now is the best time to strike. Manuel Akanji. Newcastle's defence improved a lot under Eddie Howe, going from conceding 2.2 goals a game under Steve Bruce to just 1.4 a match under the former Bournemouth boss last season. But that was still only good enough for the joint 11th best defence in the Premier League, and they are still short of top-class defenders. If they are to become more watertight next term, then a centre-back signing is essential. Sven Botman has been a target for the club since January, and after failing to land him in the winter window, signed Dan Burn instead, another towering left-footed centre-half. So while the club continue to pursue the former Ajax man and are in the driving seat to land him at the time of recording, it would also be worth looking into a different profile of defender to complement them. With just 1 year remaining on his contract and following the arrivals of Nico Schlotterbeck and Niklas Süle, Borussia Dortmund's Manuel Akanji could be set for a move this summer, and with reports that he could be available for as little as £21 million, it feels like a no-brainer. Experienced but also still relatively young at 26, Akanji has made 158 appearances across 4.5 years for the German outfit, and since 2017 has played 5 straight seasons in the Champions League, as well as playing every minute of Switzerland's World Cup 2018 and Euro 2020 campaigns. But aside from experience, Akanji also offers the Magpies defence something they currently don't have. Unlike Burn and Botman, he is very much a ball-playing centre-back, with his ability to distribute from the back essential to Dortmund's attacking play. Only defensive partner Dan Axel Zagadou averages more than his 5.2 passes into the final third per 90, while his 80% long ball accuracy is actually marginally better than Virgil van Dijk's. Impressive given that he also attempts more of them than the Dutch legend. Once again, we have to consider that Dortmund are a possession-based side, but as established in the discussions around Otavio, this is surely something Newcastle will be working towards over the next season or two. And with Akanji able to aid Trippier with ball progression, Howe's side will have more options to play with when passing out from the back. What's more, given Dortmund average 59% of the ball, the fact Akanji also makes 3.9 tackles and interceptions per 90 is also very decent, not to mention the fact he is experienced playing in both a back 4 and a back 3. Newcastle would be getting a very solid all-round defender if they decide to move for the Swiss. Sporting director Dan Ashworth should be taking note of this potential bargain. So those were our suggestions for 3 realistic signings to take Newcastle into Europe next season. But what did you make of our picks, and do you have any suggestions yourself? Let us know in the comments below and we'll get discussing. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and subscribe to EFD if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.